Hello, boys and girls. It's me, the Jackie. Your favorite Neko that talks about news and shit. Basically doing the Temple impression that everybody hates. It's kind of funny. Yes? Maybe. I don't fucking know. Anyways, you know, JackieWolf.tv. Or you can follow me at Mines for the same experience. I plan on releasing more content soon. And yada yada yada. Believe it or not, my voice is a little hoarse. Oh, so good. Also, I have sun poisoning. Anyways, into what is weirdly a lot of videos for me to do in a day. So please don't judge me. I know I normally live stream in the morning, but I got a lot going on in the background that y'all just can't hear. So without further ado, let's get into today's shenanigans. I gotta fix something real quick. Alright. Now that myself is somewhat in a better shape. Police, one dead, five hurt, shooting outside of Kansas City bar. Yeah, you thought I was going to get away from guns violence for a little bit, didn't you? Yeah, I thought so too, and yeah, that's not seemingly going to happen. It kind of sucks. Kansas City, a shooting outside of a bar in Kansas where off duty police were working security, has left one person dead and five others hurt, authorities said. The shooting happened about 11 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, following a disturbance inside the West Point Ale House. These two TV stations reported. Basically, what happened was there was a shooting. There was a thing, and it's not known if the shots from the officer struck anyone. But there was a shooting in a Kansas City bar, which is funny because I'm only using this to preference the actual story of this. But there was a shooting in at a Kansas City bar. And I'm not laughing about it. The one person dead, I feel bad for. The five people hurt, I feel bad for. But let's go into the rest of the story before I waffle for like 10 minutes about how this doesn't work. And yes, I'm using the same website for both of these because I thought it was funny that this is considered leaning right but high factuality. Partly because they're just an aggregate for the AP as far as I can tell. Biden celebration of new gun law clouded by latest shooting. Joe Biden is hosting a celebration of new bipartisan law meant to reduce gun violence that, after 16 days in effect, has already been overshadowed by yet another mass shooting. Well, it's also overshadowed by a lot of other things going on in the world, and this law is basically Chicago on a national scale, and we all know how Chicago is. Shootings every week. The reason I don't live in Chicago. They hate Illinois. The bill passed after recent gun rampages. Buffalo, New York, Uvalde, Texas, incrementally toughens requirements for young people to buy guns, which I fundamentally disagree with. Denies firearms to more domestic abusers. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that one. It helps local authorities temporarily take weapons judged to be yeah, no, that is guilty until proven innocent, and I disagree with that, so does the Constitution. But the South Lawn event on Monday morning comes a week after, and a day after, a gunman in Highland Park, Illinois, killed 7 people at an Independence Day parade, a stark reminder of the limitations of the new law addressing the American phenomenon of mass gun violence. And it comes as Democratic governors taking up the mantle of offering outrage in the face of gun violence. Because emotions aren't going to help you. I know, take it from the cute Neko. Take it from the cute LGBT, nigga. Your gun violence bullshit ain't working. Biden on Saturday invited Americans to share with him a text, a new White House communication strategy. A fun fact, that communication strategy only works with iPhones. It does not work with Android. It does not work with non-iPhones. It only worked with iPhones. Just saying, it limits the sampling size. And I guarantee you, anybody that said stuff like gun control in a heavily controlled environment, I watched my parents die. Stuff like that. Because the bad guy had a gun and my parents could not have a gun. And I've seen that firsthand, so I don't want to get into that. The law is most impactful firearms violence measure Congress has approved since enacting the now expired assault weapons ban in 1993. Yet gun control advocates, even White House officials, say it's premature to declare victory. Do you know what was banned in 1993? Do you guys want to actually talk about it? And do you want to talk about how bad it was? Because point blank, in 1993, stuff like the AR-15 was banned. And in 1993 onwards, we've seen mass shootings. That's why it was not renewed, guys. There's simply not much to celebrate here, said Igor Volsky, director of the private group Guns Down America. Wait, what? That actually sounds like a terrible name for a private group. Guns Down America? Are we a mass shooting advocacy group? It's historic, but it's a very bare minimum of what Congress should do. Actually, it's more than what Congress should do because the Second Amendment exists. Also, so does the Fourth, the Fifth, the Sixth. There's a lot of amendments this shit violates, and I get tired of sitting here going, I need to write a list, and then I forget. So what happens? I need to write a list, then I forget. You know, it's kind of sad to me, honestly. We trounce all over the freaking Constitution in this country. But do you know how many Europeans would love, absolutely love to have our Constitution? Volskai's group, along with other gun violence advocacy groups, was set up to host a news conference on Monday outside of the White House, calling on Biden to stand up a dedicated office at the White House to address gun violence with a greater sense of urgency. Wouldn't that be the ATF? I mean, seriously. That would technically be the ATF. That would be in their purview. So that office already exists. I hate gun control people. They're morons. All of them. Every single one of them are morons. Biden has left gun control policy to his domestic policy council rather than establishing a dedicated office like he stood up to address climate change or the gender policy council he established to promote reproductive health access. I'm very confused on that one. I'm still very confused on that one. It's just, I don't understand what. It's a federated issue. It's a state issue. And I agree with it being a state's issue because I don't agree with abortion. I also don't agree with the transgender. And this is speaking as somebody that's not exactly in the normalcy of the. I don't agree with teaching kids about gayness in school. I also don't care much about teaching them traditional marriage either. So, cultural norms are learned outside of school. I also don't think that trans people are. I don't think that we should be giving underage people trans hormones. And that's kind of being said from me. We have a president who really hasn't met the moment, who has chosen to act as a bystander on this issue. Has he now? He made the statement that 9mm blows out your lungs. Velsi said, for some reason, the administration absolutely refuses to have a senior official who can drive this issue across the government. Probably because they know it's a bad issue. The president signed the bipartisan bill into law on June 25th. By the way, all the Republicans that voted for that law need to be ousted from office. They should have been primaried. Calling it a historic achievement at the time. Yeah, a historic achievement in trampling on all Americans' constitutional rights. Isn't it great? Isn't it great, Joe Biden? You're a despot, and you're not even liked by your own party. I'd like you to know that at the time of me recording this, Joe Biden's approval among Democrats is at an all-time low of 32%. This time is of essence. Lives will be saved, Joe Biden said in the Roosevelt Room during the hastily arranged signing ceremony before he flew to Europe. Referencing the family of shooting victims he has met, the president says, their message to us was, do something. How many times do we have to hear that? Just do something. For God's sakes, just do something. Today we did. And I don't believe that's what he said because I've heard a Joe Biden speech or five. They always end up being... White House official said Biden doesn't see the passage of the bill as the finish line, but rather the foundation that needs to be built upon. The Illinois shooting occurred 9 days after the bill signed. Because none of this shit actually works. I recently signed the first major bipartisan gun reform legislation in 30 years into law, which includes actions that will save lives, Biden said after the July 4th surge. But there's much work to do. I'm not going to give up on fighting the epidemic of gun violence. On Friday, Biden responded to the assassination of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe by taking note of how the shooting had shocked people in Japan. The country has a strikingly low incidence of gun violence compared to the U.S., which has experienced thousands of gun deaths already this year. Okay. Japan has a completely different culture than the US. That is being spoken as somebody that works for a Japanese company, that works with Japanese people on a daily basis. But can I tell you a fun little fact about Japanese people that most people don't know? You see, most of the Japanese plants that I have worked at, including the one I am currently stationed at, has a gun range right across the street where you can find most of the Japanese bosses renting out guns. Because in Japan, guns are completely illegal. They are 100% illegal. So the shooting of Shinzo Abe is a major deal. It is a huge deal, especially since it was an improvised firearm, not using any of the common tactics of a firearm, thus making it not a firearm. It's amazing to me that people don't understand that. It's like the lootie back in the day. When the UK banned guns, a guy by the name of Philip Lootie not only wrote and designed a SMG, but proved it could be built, and then got arrested for ammo. Most of the new laws, $13 billion in spending, would be used for bolstering mental health programs and for schools, which have been targeted by shooters in Newtown, Connecticut, Parkland, Florida, and many other gun massacres, and was the product of the week's closed-door negotiation by a bipartisan group of senators who emerged with a compromise. A compromise that tramples all over the rights of the American people, because this government is a freaking treasonous group of idiots. It does not include far tougher restrictions that Democrats and Bidens have long championed, such as a ban on assault-type weapons. Remember what I said was banned in 1993? Assault rifles. Well, Category 3 rifles, such as the AR-15 and the AK. Do you want to know what happened? We still had mass shootings. It didn't stop or prevent anything. More government just ends up being the bad guy has more opportunity to shoot you. I feel like I've stressed this point enough. But Jackie, what about the UK and Japan? They're island nations that don't have a ton of people, don't have this concept of individual freedom, and don't have about a fourth of the population that is ready to throw hands at the government right now. That is not including me, believe it or not. I'm not to the point I want to throw hands, but it's getting. I could see where that violent rhetoric's coming from. So, yeah, no, that's exactly it. They don't want you to have guns. They want the bad guys to have guns. They want them to have guns. Why? Because that means they have ultimate control over you. That's exactly what all of this proposed BS is. And you want to know what's even worse? Is how many people actually buy into this stuff. How many people actually believe that this is the right way to save the country? When it's not. It absolutely is not. And I'm sorry for anybody that believes that BS line from our duly elected president. I've never contested the fact he's elected, but this is just dumb. It's just completely dumb. Anyways, I've been Jackie. Please comment down below to continue the conversation. Like, share, and subscribe. And I love you, boys. I love you. You're great.